there was a SAGE meeting, government scientists, government advisors, on December the 22nd, just before Christmas. And the minutes of that indicated that at that stage, the scientists gave the view that it's highly unlikely that it would be possible to keep the reproduction rate of the virus below 1, with schools continuing to be fully open for full face-to-face teaching. So I think probably from that moment, the course was pretty much set, and it was probably only a matter of time before we saw the decision which was taken yesterday. It's a very, very unfortunate decision, and of course everybody wants to see children in school receiving face-to-face education. But I think in light of that advice just before Christmas, it was inevitable that we would end up where we are today. Online education or remote education can never be a substitute for face-to-face teaching. Obviously, the school system is set up for face-to-face teaching, and that is the best support that can be given to children. However, I think that schools and colleges are in a lot better place now than they were during the first lockdown, when that began in March, in what is now last year. At that time, if you remember, the schools were given little more than 48 hours to set up remote education for something like 9 million pupils. And that was incredibly challenging, very difficult situation. Nobody had ever done anything like that, certainly not at that scale before. And since then, everybody has learned an awful lot about delivering remote education. There are much more established systems in place. There is a whole host of resources out there that are in place. We're going to need very quickly some answers from the government and from the exam regulator about what their intentions are, to make sure that those qualifications are assessed this year in a way which gives those students the grades that they deserve, and recognises their efforts, and is fair across the system. So that's going to be very, very challenging. It's not an easy thing to do, and there really is obviously a very great sense of urgency of coming forward with those plans as soon as possible so that everybody has clarity.